Researchers say loneliness is the biggest mental health crisis of our generation. Doctors say we need more people in our lives. Therapists say isolation is dangerous. But nobody talks about what happens when you sit down one quiet evening and realize that most of your problems didn't come from within you. They walked through your front door, and the day your life got better was the day you stopped letting them in. Think about the last time you were truly at peace. Were you surrounded by people, or were you alone? Because here's what nobody wants to say out loud. You didn't wake up one day and decide to become distant. You didn't choose this. What you chose was to finally stop choosing people who were slowly draining everything out of you. The friend who only existed during their crisis, the family member who called you selfish for having boundaries, the person who handed you the scissors, and then acted surprised when you used them. You didn't cut people off. They showed you exactly who they were, and you believed them. And here's where it gets interesting, because most people watching this right now are not cold. They're not heartless. They're not antisocial. They are simply people who learned the hard way that some connections don't fill you up. They hollow you out. And once you see that pattern, you cannot unsee it. Stay with me, because what comes next is the part nobody talks about. Here's what's actually happening in your brain when you make that call. A 2023 study in Nature Neuroscience found that people who experience repeated emotional stress developed heightened activity in the brain's threat detection centers. Your brain literally rewired itself to spot danger before it arrived. And one of the most consistent findings, the biggest source of that stress was not strangers. It was people close to them, family, friends, partners. Dr. Stephen Porges, a leading neuroscientist, calls this the polyvagal response. When your nervous system gets drained enough times by the same people, it shifts into protection mode, withdrawal, stillness, conservation, in plain terms. Your brain learned that some people are expensive, and it started charging at the door. That is not a flaw. That is intelligent. But here's the part that takes real honesty to admit. It wasn't just friends. For a lot of you, it was family. The people who were supposed to be your safe place were the first ones who taught you that love comes with conditions, that closeness comes with a cost, that the person sitting across the dinner table could make you feel more alone than an empty room. And you carried that for years quietly. You kept showing up, kept forgiving, kept shrinking yourself to keep the peace. Until one day, you just stopped, and the silence that followed felt like the first real breath you'd taken in years. Now, here's what I need you to hear, and this part matters. Protecting yourself from people who hurt you, that is healthy, that is necessary, that is one of the bravest things you can do. But there is a difference between protecting your peace and punishing everyone for what a few people did. Because right now, somewhere in your life, there is probably someone trying to show up for you. Someone who texts first, who checks in, who stays through the uncomfortable conversations. And if your walls are high enough, you might not even notice them. The goal was never to be alone. The goal was to stop being around the wrong people. Those are two completely different things. Here's the truth the most peaceful people in the world already know. A small circle is not a failure. It is a filter. The Harvard study of adult development, 75 years of research, found that the quality of your relationships determines the quality of your entire life, not the quantity, the quality. So if you have one person who actually sees you, you are ahead of most people who have 100 who don't. You didn't lose people, you lost the noise, and in the quiet, you finally found yourself. If this video felt like it was written about your life, I want you to do one thing. Drop a comment and finish this sentence. I stopped letting people in when I read every single one. And if someone in your life needs to hear this today, send it to them silently. No explanation needed. They'll know why you sent it.